Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me as we continue in our series on well-being. Today I'm going to be focusing on one of the components of well-being, that of physical well-being. And I think it's so important that we remember that physical well-being is not simply the absence of illness and disease. It includes lifestyle, behavioral choices that we make that will enhance our health. Enhancing physical well-being includes considering ways of improving our body's functioning through healthy eating, regular exercise, and getting enough sleep. Improving our sense of physical well-being will not only lead to a newfound sense of health and well-being, but it also will lower the risk of diseases, medical conditions, and also will improve our sense of emotional health. Now, it's very important, I think, that we remember that to improve our physical well-being is not going to happen overnight. There's no quick fix. It's important that we have a realistic plan and that we look at ways of changing things in small steps that will achieve a goal. One small step could change your life. So if you were to consider your physical well-being and the aspects that I'm going to look at today, and consider just one way in which you could change that aspect in your life, it could lead to an overall sense of well-being, decreased stress and depression, and improved cognitive performance. Prior to COVID-19, teachers and principals experienced high levels of stress and anxiety. And now, with COVID, there's no doubt that physical well-being is under significant threat. So more than ever, educators and principals are needing to stop and say, what do I need to do about my physical well-being to make sure that I don't burn out? So I'm going to give you 4 areas to consider and challenge you to look at one small thing that you can change or introduce into your life under these 4 aspects. The first is to consider breathing techniques as a way of relaxing your brain and your muscles. The technique that I appreciate is called the 4-7-8 breathing technique, which involves breathing in to the count of 4, holding that breath to the count of 7, and then breathing out to the count of 8. And doing that for a few times. And then just allowing that oxygen to enter your body, into your brain, and allow you to relax. There's something about just sitting, centering yourself, breathing deeply, and allowing one to sense that calmness return. That's number 1, breathing techniques. The second aspect of physical well-being to consider is trying to exercise as regularly as possible. Sometimes it's not easy to get out there every day, but to get out at least 3 times a week, when you raise your heart rate, go for that brisk walk, that gentle jog, and make sure that you are getting activity happening in your life. Researchers will tell us that endorphins are released in the brain when we exercise, and endorphins are those happy, feel-good hormones that make us feel better. And although the exercise might not be great while we're doing it, there's no doubt that afterwards there's energy that is felt, and one is more alert, and you feel that you can cope better with your day. So regular exercise doesn't have to mean going to the gym or doing push-ups, but it can simply mean going for a regular brisk walk, walking instead of getting in the car if you can, and just making sure that you move as much as you possibly can. Thirdly, to consider your nutrition. Nutrition is a significant part of physical well-being, and we know that when we're stressed, it's easy to reach for that unhealthy snack or that chocolate to get sugar levels up. And so we've got to remember that nutrition is going to affect our physical well-being significantly. Planning our meals and making sure that we know what we're eating when helps us avoid that temptation of reaching for that unhealthy snack when we're feeling peckish. The other factor that one has to consider in nutrition is the importance of drinking 8 glasses of water a day. Now, that's not easy, and I'm trying very hard to keep that up, because it's a big challenge, especially in the cold weather, to drink 8 glasses of water a day. What about eating regular portions of vegetables and fruit, and to build that into your diet as much as you possibly can? It takes effort, it takes commitment, it takes discipline, but there's no doubt that when we intentionally do things to improve our physical well-being, the benefits will be very, very evident. Finally, the aspect that I want to consider under physical well-being is getting enough sleep. Experts recommend that we get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep a night, and we know that for many that's quite a challenge. But it's important that we do look at ways of improving our sleep hygiene, and that can involve making sure that we come off devices at least 30 minutes before bedtime. It also involves looking at a wind down program before we go to sleep, quietening the mind, reading something that is going to allow us to settle our minds, and going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time, getting into a routine in terms of sleep, and that definitely will enhance a sense of well-being. So getting enough sleep doesn't only allow us to be more alert, but it also leads to improved cognitive performance. It lowers stress and anxiety levels, and there's no doubt that it has a multitude of benefits in terms of our physical well-being. Mahatma Gandhi said the following: "It is health that is the real wealth, and not just pieces of gold and silver." And I'll conclude with an Arabian proverb which goes as follows: "He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything." Stay well, keep going, don't give up.